Fantasy Baseball on Deck, everybody. This is Austin and Xander Bogaerts, as you can see on the screen, is heading to San Diego to be their new shortstop for the next 11 years, even though he is currently a 30-year-old individual. But anyways, what does that mean to us as fantasy baseball owners as we prepare for the 2023 season coming up? So if we look over here, Xander Bogaerts was the number 7 overall shortstop last year in a top 10 offense in Boston as the number 3 hole hitter primetime spot. He has always been a batting champion kind of guy. He's always been extra prevalent. He's always hit around 20 home runs, except this past season. He only hit 15, but, what does that mean going into a lineup that truly has, 3 MVPs surrounding him in the middle of the batting order, really regardless of where they put them. Overall, as a batter, for the entire season last year, Xander finished 36th overall, which is not really what you want to see out of someone that you're picking in the first, 5 or 6 rounds into your fantasy lineup. Who's, I think, regularly a 4th rounder last year. I think he's only going to fly up the draft boards as of right now. He's currently ranked as an ADP 60 something. So, you want more productivity out of that position, given that draft spot. Let's look over at their offense again. This past season, they were 9th overall in baseball, which is pretty good. As him being the number 3 hole hitter, he's moving into a San Diego lineup as potentially the number 4 they show here. I always thought forever, given his lack of just pure power, but more like volume and on base, high batting average guy, that he should be a leadoff hitter. Given Fernando Tatis's absolute ceiling of an MVP caliber sort of player, never thought that he should be a leadoff hitter, even though he is extra fast. I would like to think that Xander would be the 1 or the 2, with Juan Soto being the other person flip-flops. But, however they maneuver their roster is obviously up to them. But I hope that he's sandwiched in the middle of the other 3 MVP candidates. Xander Bogaerts doesn't have the ceiling to ever be an MVP, just given his lack of power. But again, that batting champion potential every single season obviously still provides a lot of value. So sort of how do we look at that going into this upcoming season? He's currently ranked 60th overall for ADP. Is that worth it? Is it not? I think that's more of a question for scarcity. So if we go over to shortstops overall for the entire year, or overall, this year to draft, it's like Xander Bogaerts and down to maybe even Wander Franco, if he's healthy for an entire season, through the top 80 picks are there shortstops that I think that will be plenty fine, that I would be happy to come with, basically from Wander up, and then going down, the next only person, 1 or 2 people that I'd be happy with would be a Jazz Chisholm or a Jeremy Pena. I think they took Jazz's shortstop eligibility away for whatever reason. But is he worth that? Let's look into the total bases. Obviously, he is always hitting above 300. That's almost a guarantee at this point. But if we go from largest to smallest, Xander kind of sticks. He's right around that low 30s range. Total bases per hit. What is his, he gets a ton of hits, as we said before. He gets a ton of hits, but is he just a singles machine, or is he actually smacking the ball places when he is making contact? And as we see, is all the way towards the bottom, ranking 91st overall and hits per. So it's basically a base and a half is what he's averaging per. So I don't want you guys necessarily be discouraged with this, but going into his year 30, 31 age season, I don't think his power numbers are going to go up. This is the lowest amount of home runs he's ever hit. He's usually over 20, in the mid 20s range. He still managed to be a top 10 player at his position, but given the 60 overall ranking in the ESPN, average draft position of 60, it just seems like there are other guys before the draft, before you get to 60, that have higher ceilings. And I just feel like he's always going to be a top 5 guy, but from here on out, I feel like he's not never going to be the number one guy, which is always what we're looking for. But Xander Bogaerts, again, surrounded by I never want to look at players given their teammates surrounding them in the lineup, but just given that there's 3 MVP candidates being Juan Soto, Manny Machado, and Fernando Tatis in the lineup. He certainly has the opportunity to succeed. So it's a really short show. I have a lot of stuff to do. I got to leave the house. So I wanted to get a video out. But anywho, hopefully that was helpful. As you guys know, I keep the same spreadsheet. You guys look at this different one because it's an Excel document, but I keep a Google sheet and the link always in the comments. You guys can access the same information sort of that I use to depict and look at my rosters. But anyway, that's Fantasy Baseball on Deck. Bye, everybody.